What's the worst rumor that's been spread around your school? I caught my teacher being inappropriate with a girl student, and the whole school needed to save her. Mr. Mullen always seemed like a normal history teacher until Sydney Porter joined our class in October. He treated her differently from day one. She'd show up late, and he'd just nod instead of marking her tardy. During lessons, he'd glance at her constantly like he was checking if she was okay. The weird behavior really started the second week. He'd pull her out of class at random times, saying they needed to discuss her assignments. She'd come back 15 or 20 minutes later with red, puffy eyes like she'd been crying. Sometimes her makeup was smudged, and she'd keep her head down the rest of the period. One time, I saw them in the empty cafeteria after school. They were sitting close together at a corner table, and Mr. Mullen had his hand on her shoulder. Sydney was wiping her eyes with tissues while he talked quietly to her. When they noticed me walking by, they both tensed up, and Mr. Mullen quickly moved his hand away. Another day, Sydney didn't show up for first period, but I saw her car in the parking lot. During lunch, I spotted her coming out of Mr. Mullen's classroom fixing her hair. Her face was all blotchy, and she rushed to the bathroom without making eye contact with anyone. Mr. Mullen came out a minute later, straightening his tie and looking stressed. I mentioned it to my friend Marcus during chemistry class. He said he'd noticed the same weird stuff. How Mr. Mullen never called on Sydney even when her hand was up. How he let her turn in assignments late without penalty. How she was the only student allowed to eat in his classroom during tutorial period. Marcus told his girlfriend Heidi, who told her whole friend group by the end of the day. Within a week, everyone was whispering about Mr. Mullen and Sydney. The rumors got worse with each retelling. Someone said they saw them at the mall together. Another person claimed they heard Sydney crying in his classroom during lunch. A junior swore he saw Mr. Mullen's car at Sydney's house on a Saturday night. The rumors reached other teachers pretty fast. I noticed them watching Mr. Mullen more carefully in the hallways. The principal started randomly dropping by our history class to observe. Other students began treating Sydney weird too. Girls whispered when she walked by, and guys made gross comments under their breath. Everything exploded on a Thursday when Sydney didn't show up to class. Mr. Mullen seemed really upset and kept checking his phone during the lesson. He was distracted and kept losing his train of thought. About halfway through class, the principal came in and whispered something to him. Mr. Mullen's face went pale, and he nodded slowly. After the principal left, Mr. Mullen walked to the front of the room and told everyone to put their phones away. His hands were shaking a little as he gripped the edge of his desk. The whole class went silent because we'd never seen him this serious before. I'm aware of the rumors going around about me and Sydney Porter. I've tried to ignore them, hoping they'd die down, but clearly that's not happening. He took a deep breath and continued. Sydney is my stepdaughter. I married her mother 3 years ago. 6 weeks ago, my wife died in a car accident. Sydney and I are the only family each other has left. The room felt like all the air had been sucked out. People started shifting uncomfortably in their seats. A few kids looked at me since everyone knew I'd started asking questions first. When I pull Sydney out of class, it's because she's having a grief episode and needs support. When she comes back crying, it's because she misses her mother. When you see us together after school, it's because I'm the only parent she has left, and she needs help with things her mom used to handle. His voice cracked a little on the last part. The gossip and rumors have made an already unbearable situation so much worse. Sydney hasn't been to school in 3 days because she can't handle the whispers and stares on top of grieving her mother. You should all be ashamed of yourselves. The silence was deafening. Heidi started crying quietly. Marcus looked like he wanted to disappear into his desk. I felt sick to my stomach thinking about how our stupid gossip had hurt two people who were already going through the worst thing imaginable. Mr. Mullen dismissed class early, and nobody said a word as we filed out. The rumors stopped immediately. Some kids tried to apologize, but Mr. Mullen just nodded without really responding. Sydney came back the next week, and everyone pretended like nothing had happened, but the damage was done.